What a fucking bloodbath, man. Is there any green on there? Cardano. This is MoleHill News. This is Old Man Todd. It is 2 minutes before 6 a.m. on the 26th of February 2021. This is educational at best, entertainment at worst, and it is never, never financial advice because I don't know shit. I just like to read the numbers and a little bit of news, and hopefully you guys enjoy. Bitcoin still sliding, just hanging on to that $45,000 support. 46 right now at down 10%. Ethereum's 1.4k down 10%. Tether's still hanging in. Oh, Tether went up to 3rd%. It was in 4th for a while. That means that Binance slipped down with a 13% change down, and they're at 224. Cardano's at $1.10, it's up 4%. It's the only green in the field. Polkadot is down 12.4 at $30. XRP 43 cents, down 8.8%. Litecoin 170 down 14.3%. Chainlink 11.5 at 24 bucks, 25 bucks almost. $480 for Bitcoin Cash, 12.26% down. Let's quickly take a look at the fastest movers and see what's going on. 1 inch is up 16.5%. Near Protocol is up 12%. Elron Gold. Oh, I think this is actually a really good one. I should have bought. Fuck. I meant to buy. Cardano's on the top 5 for just having gone up 4%. There's not a lot of upward motion happening here, folks. What's like the worst on the down? Ooh, Phantom fell 30, but it's still up 166 on the week. Dodo, Sushi fell back down. Decred took a beating. That's whoa. Decreds are $123. Jesus. All right. Nano took a 13% hit. All right. All right. So since we last chatted about 11 hours ago, Bitcoin has slid 1.8%. Let's take a look at some stuff. So we were talking that it had downward pressure. It had significant downward pressure for how much actually moved. If that makes sense. There was more pressure than the movement we saw. So it's still fighting the traditional indicators. The indicators still, how do I put it? Bitcoin still usually does better than the indicators would say. But I think that's because these tools are designed for the stock market, which is a lot more stable in general. So, and that's actually a subject we will talk about in the news. But we can see the baseline, the conversion line above the baseline. Conversion line is pretty flat. Baseline's pointing up. The lagging indicator is also pointing up, and it looks like they can bounce off incredibly thin resistance right here. So we'll check back in before I close the show out to see what ends up happening there. But we could be bouncing off some resistance there, some support there. With the EMAs, they're still pretty jumbled. They're super jumbled. They could be correcting themselves, but we still have the what EMA is this? Well, whatever. It's the slowest moving. It's the biggest average that is still way up higher than everybody else. So this is still a downward indicator. Yeah, everything still points down like last night, but we saw a 1% change between now and then. So 45K has been a pretty important support for the Bitcoin as it is, you know, going in and out of the 50s. So, okay. On to some news. So Cardano has this thing called Babel fees. Just to get some context here. When you... Let me see. Okay. Ethereum lets everyone fuck around on layer 1. So you have like Tether. If we went back to that market cap, a lot of those coins are actually ERC20 tokens that are happening within the Ethereum network. So that means that not only is layer 1 super congested, but that's something they're addressing, we talked about last night, but because of that congestion and for other factors, oh, excuse me, it means the fees are really high, right? And if that's the case, then it's more difficult to get your ERC20 token or your like side project into Ethereum and get it running because the fees are just too high. Cardano is going to do something where instead of paying a fee for certain tokens in Ethereum, you're going to pay a fee in the local currency like that you're actually exchanging in, if that makes sense. So to move Tether wouldn't cost me a shit ton of Ethereum. It would cost me a little bit of a Tether rather than the base coin that it's like a subcoin of, if that makes sense. Because Cardano wants to be an operating system, sort of an environment like Ethereum is, right? It wants to have sub tokens like Ethereum does. And so that's how they're going to try to attract customers, I guess you could say. Elon Musk is unfazed by the possibility of an SEC probe into Dogecoin tweets. I'm glad he's unfazed. I like this guy in general. I don't have a problem with him. I watched this whole weed thing on Joe Rogan happen live and thought it was amazing. It's probably one of the last Joe Rogans I watched. I kind of fell off of him after that. Thought it was great. That was awesome. And I thought the resulting public meltdown was even fucking hilarious. It's not obvious by now. I think weed is a fucking awesome, and Elon Musk is an alright dude, so it was funny to watch him smoke and try it out for not the first time, but he wasn't like a fat stoner at the time. Anyway, sorry, that's a sidetrack. He was tweeting about. I gotta say, I don't mind him at all. I don't have a problem with Elon Musk. I don't care about him tweeting about weird shit about cryptos. I like that he's a weirdo and tweets weird shit and upsets a bunch of squirrel boomers and stuff. But I am a little bit sick of the crypto community hanging on his every word and making enormous investments in trades based on stupid shit that this dude's probably tweeting off of a toilet while he smokes a bowl. You know what I mean? Like, he's just goofing off. And for people to, like, put life savings into something like Dogecoin, which you really wouldn't if you did your research. You would understand that it is inflationary currency. There's no cap. It's printed like, well, it's printed like funny money because it is. It's literally supposed to be funny. I don't know. It's like the last place you'd ever want to store a few bucks that you expected to appreciate or anything. So I'm not pinning it on Elon Musk. I'm pinning it on all the people who are like, oh, Elon Musk tweeted something, so I'm just going to... Yeah, that's a dumbass fucking thing to do. And if the SEC is going to come after Musk, I think they should just... That's some nanny state bullshit. It's like, I don't know. Whatever. Drama. But I'm just saying, don't make your fucking decisions on what this dude's tweeting. He's goofing off. And he's allowed to goof off on Twitter. I'm not saying he's doing anything wrong. It's all you fucking fools who are buying into shit and hanging on his every word who are fucking it up. Okay, so this fucking dude just gets even weirder and weirder. Mark Armstrong, or whatever Armstrong dipshit fucking bag of dicks from... Sorry. I do not like this man. He's from Coinbase. He runs Coinbase. Blah, 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 blah. He shaves his head and he thinks he's fucking cool. But he apparently needs, what, $1.8 million in personal security? Where no one else at his company gets any personal security. And despite that, not even counting that 1.8 million, he pays himself more than fucking Tim Cook. This idiot, who all he does is he just lets other people trade coins on his platform, pays himself more than a dude who runs a company that fucking sells millions of dollars of computer hardware, actual tangible fucking hardware. You don't have a product, Mark Apple's Brian Armstrong. You don't have a product, dude. You have a service. Like, it's bizarre that someone who's selling hardware widgets would be paid less than someone who's selling a service, because the service just dries up and you're fucking gone. You don't have resources, dude, other than a bunch of coins that could be worth nothing tomorrow, because look at all that fucking red. And that can keep going. That's why you never invest in anything you can't afford to lose. And if that happens, he's done skis. He's got nothing. So what the fuck is he paying himself for? You know? the world went to shit and Apple didn't suffer because they're still selling hardware. They still own the hardware and they own the facilities and they can still do R&D. They have a product. Oh my God, what a fucking joke. Brian Armstrong, I guess that's his name. Oh my God. What a fucking asshole. I just like to fucking beat that dude up every time his name shows up on my newsfeed, so. I don't really know who the fuck this Bridgewater analysis is, but like, clear regulations to be less volatile. What would you do? What would you do to make an asset less volatile in terms of regulation? Would you restrict how much I can trade? Would you restrict trade volume? Would you restrict like how high I can set a limit order? I don't understand how you're gonna regulate volatility out of an asset. Like that just sounds like the most retarded thing I could think of. Bitcoin is volatile because it's new. Like gold isn't as volatile because nobody is surprised by gold. Like our ancestors traded with gold in the BC era, right? Bitcoin's brand fucking new. It's the definition of price exploration. And people are still talking about its ultimate value settling somewhere between $500,000 and $1 million. It's currently selling for 47,000. I just said half a fucking million, 500,000. So we're still super early in price exploration for Bitcoin compared to any other asset you can imagine, like any stock, any bond, anything. This is brand new shit. And so if someone's like, oh, I'm just going to regulate the volatility out of it. Like, no, you're not. No, you're not. No matter how hard you try, you're not going to have that goal. Like, I just don't get it. Unless you absolutely fucking stop trading, which is stopping price exploration, which is basically just like some government nut just coming out and just setting the price of Bitcoin. That's like basically the only way you're going to do that, which I don't even know what that means. That'd be like the government being like, okay, the Ford Taurus costs 20,000, period. Like no ifs, ands, or buts. And I can't understand how that would benefit anybody. So, yeah, whatever, Bridgewater. I think you need to fucking calm down. Just buy and hold like the rest of us, you know? Can't just regulate fucking away everything that makes you uncomfortable, you weirdos. If you're not into the crypto, if you're not into the volatility, like I like watching my portfolio climb, and it stings when it falls, but I have an idea that it will climb again because it's so goddamn volatile. And if you don't like to ride the bull, get the fuck out of crypto. You don't need to make it less volatile. You need to go invest in something boring. Go away. Take Brian Armstrong with you, dude. Him and his security. Goodbye. I love you, listener. I'm sure there's at least one of you. So thank you. Goodbye.